Welcome to another edition of the Sportsport. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sportsport here on a Wednesday, and we have the Barnes, Tony, Zach, and Danny show. So the full house here. A lot going on in the world of sports. The Yankees, the Mets, the Knicks. I know everybody's proud for the Knicks.
Oh yeah.
The NHL playoffs, the Charles Schwab. So a lot to get into. But what's going on, brother?
Oh, not much, dude. You know, hump day, classic Wednesday. Get through your week, dude. The Mets are losing games, but hey, man, you know, there's going to be some dubs on the horizon. There's still some good that can come out of, I guess, last night's game. So, you know, you take it with stride. Game 3.
And
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, I mean, you got Buffalo Wild Wings. But I would say, Tony, I think you do. I mean, even though it's like, oh, great, like kind of like what you just said. Oh, that's fine. Like, obviously, at the end of the day, it's a terrible feeling. But I would say I think you do handle it a little better than me in the midst of it. Or no?
No, yeah, I
think I
guess
get
so.
Like I can't think about anything else for 1 second. Like it's just like I need the game to start right now. I need them to score 10 runs. Right?
I mean, I guess, you know, life goes on. I guess, right? I mean, jeez, dude. I mean, it's not great right now.
No. You know what I hate when someone says like when you're talking about it, and then they're just like, oh, well, they don't write your checks. It's like, great. That really helps.
Right? Although I will say, I think where you're better is that when you are talking about it on the show, like you kind of like feel better.
Yes, exactly.
Where I don't, dude. I don't want to talk about it. All right, dude. Like,
yeah, no, that's true. That's true. And I feel like, but I think you do this too. I always just think about, okay, like what's going to be done that is going to change this.
Right.
Like that's always the first thing that I get to.
Upward and onward.
Yeah, exactly. But what's going on, Zach? You said good day yesterday. The golf, the Wild Wings.
Yes, the golf, the Wild Wings kind of made up for the
Fairchild
horrid Mets loss. No, Tashua.
Nice.
Tashua, nice.
That's like my main course.
Did you do the Knolls or the Glen?
Played the Knolls 2 days ago, Glen yesterday. So
nice.
Wide variety.
Hell yeah, dude.
Haven't been to the Glen in a long time. How's that? I mean, they keeping it up in good shape? Or?
Yeah, they do a decent job. It's funny. I actually have friends who work there, and they're like, yeah, we don't really give a shit about the Glen.
No, but I swear from when I'm playing the Knolls and I'm looking down at the Glen, I mean, it seems like they've kept it in okay shape.
Yeah, it's all right. It's serviceable. I mean,
it's a Tony.
Quick
He's all right.
He's all right, dude.
Gordon and Larry. But no, honestly, it's one of those things, like, it is good to practice that because, like, short game is everything. But then I don't know how you feel. Like, obviously, at the end of the day, like, you just want to play. If that's what your friends are doing, I'm sure, like, you want to just go.
Yeah.
But do you feel like at the same time, though, if it was up to you, you would, and it's available, like, you're going to pick the Knolls every time? Like, if time allows and it's open pretty much?
Yeah. I like the Knolls, too, because it's more open. The Glen is so narrow, so you can hook your shots so easy. Like, I'll go through, like, handful balls, and then it's like, gotta go get new ones.
Yeah. No one wants to do that,
money,
dude.
You know?
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true. And it's funny. Until recently, I didn't believe in the buying golf balls thing, but I've just got hooked recently. Like, and first of all, I like getting the yellow balls just because when you're playing, like usually not many people are playing with them, so you're like, okay, I know it's my ball. Yeah. In the green, it obviously stands out more. But I've been getting, like the tailor-made distance balls. They're only like $20 for like a pack, which I feel like is pretty good. Really good. How have you been with that? Like, do you care about like what ball it is? Like, how have you been with that?
No, I really don't. Yeah, most of them are going in the woods, so I really don't. I don't care that much. I'll get like the $20 pack. The neon ones are nice though.
Yeah, they are. They are. And I did notice the difference, and it does make sense though, because like I'm telling you, for like literally till this year, I like never bought any balls at all. And it's just like, I'm finding all these balls in the woods. Like, I don't know how long they've been there. I don't know how waterlogged they are. It probably does make more of a difference than I think.
Yeah,
I guess so.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like the day you notice a difference, it's like, you'll be at the Charles Schwab,
Well, you know what it is? I think the difference is, it's like, okay, you shank a shot. It doesn't matter what the hell you're using. But if you hit it crisp, I think
like
it
consistently.
Would probably, I could see it like an older ball you're using versus a brand new one. I could see it making a 10, 15-yard difference on the team.
Yeah, I guess you're probably right. No, I mean, you are right. That's obviously why.
But then you just think, oh, well, how many times do I actually hit it right on the head type of thing? That thought always pops up, I'm sure. Yeah, like we said, a lot to get to. A couple comments if we want to start there.
Yes. Pull those up real fast.
Let's do it, dude. What do we got?
Buck to hear early saying 2 a.m. late night contact with Ernie.
Michael. 2 a.m., dude.
He doesn't sleep. He doesn't sleep.
I guess Ernie doesn't either, huh?
Get him a CPAP. Come on.
Says, really enjoyed it last night with Ernie. And then says, how are we doing, Barnes?
Barnes, how are we doing?
I'm doing great, Michael. Honestly, I mean, as you could expect, and like what we just talked about, me, baseball season, living and dying based on how the Yankees are playing. So obviously they're playing well. So of course I'm going to be feeling great, Michael.
The Absolutely. Eagle. Didn't mention that
Eagle,
yesterday,
yes, no, it just made me think of that video. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. Matt Kuchar with an
Eagle.
But yeah, I think I was on with JD right after, and I was explaining to everybody. But yeah, it was nice. I mean, it is a shorter par 5, and they did it where the tee box was up a little bit. So it was literally like I hit a drive, which I hit pretty well. And then just had a pitching wedge in back of the green, and the green on I guess it's number 4 at Gainer. Pretty fast. So it was downhill, and it might have rolled off the green if it didn't hit, but it was just perfect right on the stick and in. So, I mean, all the rounds I've played, I mean, it was nice to finally get an eagle.
We're taking it.
Any eagles for you, Zach?
No.
Have you had the eagle putt that turns into a par a couple times?
Yeah.
Or yeah.
You too, or no? Dude, I don't think I've had an eagle putt before. No, I don't think so.
And usually they're like right on the fringe, but what are you gonna do? What else we got here?
We also have Ernie saying you're Josh B saying yo, what up, fam? LFGK.
Big night for Josh B.
Josh B, let's go. Let's go Knicks. Come on. Double wins. Knicks, Yankees. Come on.
Says Ernie.
Sure. Well, actually, yeah.
Come on.
I mean, geez, can you do us a little bit of a favor? Like,
yeah, maybe they're tanking on purpose.
No, I said that. I said that in the group chat last night. I literally said that. I really said that. It's spite.
Josh B also saying Bukta.
Hype for Bukta.
Ernie says Tony on the casting couch.
Yeah, that's right, Ernie baby. Loves that.
Get the camera
out. Ernie also says, yes, I was packing up for a Wildwood weekend, doing laundry and all that jazz.
Yo, let's go, dude.
Wildwood.
Big proponent.
I've never
of
been there. I heard it's nice.
Yes, dude. You would definitely enjoy it.
AC with no casino and homeless people. Is that basically what it is?
Well, I guess it's the same amount of homeless people as AC. I guess
it's not like a nicer like area though. I've never been there. I was just taking a guess.
It's actually kind of funny because I feel like when I was a kid, Wildwood was nicer. And then AC was like really, really shitty. And then as I got older, they kind of evened out a little bit. But Wildwood, especially you go up on Staten Island, like that was like that after prom. You go to Wildwood, you go on the weekend, you could drink, dude. No one really gave a shit.
But it's just bars, restaurants, carnival games, beach, pretty much.
Yeah, I would say more child oriented.
Okay. So as why?
Yeah, of course. But it is still great. I mean, you get a hotel, you get the beach right there. You can, there are divey bars. You get there's Wawa around. Dude, people love Wawa, New Jersey, so that's fine, I guess. But it's a good time. Love Wildwood. A lot of good memories there, and I'm sure Ernie has a lot too.
Oh yeah, I bet. I bet.
Josh B says, if the Yankees play tonight with the rain,
and I was telling JD last night, and me and Tony have talked about it many times, but I'm just on the ball with these hourly forecasts. And I think there's like all through the time they would play, maybe the highest percentage of rain there is like 35-40%. And being that this is their only trip here, when they go to Citi Field this year, there's no off days that they get games in. I think they're going to 100% play.
Yeah, I think so. I was talking to Danny before the show. I mean, the next time Texas is even around, they play the Mets
with
September.
No off days.
Yeah, with no off days.
So they can't. They got to do it.
Like, what are we going to
do? Donna also says, good morning.
Good morning, Donna.
And Josh B says, hey, Donna. That's all the comments.
Let's go. Let's go. So always great to have all of them with us here.
Packed house.
Packed house. But we've already kind of talked about it a little bit. Let's jump into the world of Major League Baseball.
Instinct to left. It's Alonso cracks one. The Mets win the ball game. Out of sight. And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drill deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So the Yankees getting the job done once again last night at the stadium, 5-2 to get to a season high 9 games over 500 here. We're led by Will Warren getting the start, best start of his career, a career high in strikeouts with 10. And got in and out of trouble later into the start. Was really dominant the first few innings. But the overall line here, is just impeccable. 5 2/3, 5 hits, no runs, only 1 walk, 10 strikeouts, and 101 pitches, which I don't know if that's a career high, but it has to be up there. So that was, he just set the tone from jump, which you love to see. And offensively, I think a little slow to start for the Yankees. You did have in the second inning Ben Rice, who's just been money all season with his 10th home run of the year to right field, 376 feet. So we talk about this all the time. He's just been a revelation. Of course, everybody remembers the big 3 home run game against Boston last year. But then, he really struggled after that, was eventually demoted to the minors. So to really see him hitting his stride is great. He would have another hit in this game as well. So, going 2 for 3 here. He's got an OPS approaching 1,000. So he's obviously doing a great job and just has been filling in as good and way above anybody would have expected. Filling in for Stanton, of course. So that gave the Yankees, a 1-0 lead. And like I said, Warren cruising, a lot of strikeouts through the first few innings. And then the Yankees would be able to get onto the scoreboard in the 4th inning. And it was nice to see this too, because you hate to see opportunities squandered. And it felt like, that might happen here, so Judge had a leadoff single, stole second, and then Cody Bellinger was able to reach on an infield single. So you had first and third, nobody out, Anthony Volpe up, and it's interesting because, throughout this hot stretch that the Yankees have been on, he's been kind of the I would say the negative talking point for a lot of people, me included. Didn't come through in the Subway Series a few times with runners on and just some bad at bats. And he battled in this one. I want to say this was a more lengthy at bat here. It was a 9-pitch at bat, but then, he fouls out the third base. So obviously not what you want with nobody out, runners on first and third. And then, fortunately, after that, Ben Rice was able to, hit a sacrifice fly to score Aaron Judge. So Rice, like I said, getting the job done all night. So that made it 2-0. But then Cody Bellinger, gets caught stealing. And I thought he was safe. And we were talking about this in the group chat with JD. But I guess, Brandon was actually saying this in the group chat that because it was early in the game, they didn't want to waste a challenge. But that's kind of what I saw there. Kind of interesting. So 2-0. Going into the 5th inning. And like I said, Will Warren doing a great job. We're 5th inning, no runs allowed. He gets the first 2 outs and grounds out. And Heim doubles. So the first time, a little, adversity here. And we've seen Will Warren where, he pitches well, he's hitting his spots, he's mixing in, the fastball and the sweeper. But then he gets into trouble. He's like, oh, geez, this is going to be a big inning with that 2-out double to Heim. But he's Haggerty to strike out there. And I believe that was his 9th of the game there. So 2-0 going to the bottom of the 5th. Yankees don't get anything going against Patrick Corbin there. So we get to the 6th, and this is where I think you could say this was Will Warren's shining moment. And of course, this whole start, he was so impressive. Like I said, the changing of the speeds and just so much swing and miss from the Rangers and the composure he had out there on the mound. But after he gets a foul out from Smith, he walks Langford. So 1 on, 1 out. And then Josh Young reaches on an infield single. So that made it, first and second, 1 out. Garcia up, and he singles. So you got bases loaded, 1 out. So this is a situation. I mean, we've seen it. We saw it happen in Baltimore. I think he gave up a 3-run homer. So you're expecting the worst. But he buckles down and gets a veteran hitter and Marcus Semien to strike out looking. So a huge strikeout there for his 10th. And then with the left-handed pitcher coming up, not left-handed pitcher, but left-handed batter, Jock Peterson, who, by the way, I don't know if you saw any highlights of this game, and I haven't seen Jock Peterson in a while, but looks a lot bigger than he always did. I don't know. If
fatter?
Yeah. He was always like bigger, but this was like, I don't know. I was surprised to see that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, another year older, another team too. I mean,
he's been on a lot of teams.
So many freaking teams. It's crazy. That guy has won back-to-back World Series.
Yeah.
Is it Dodgers Braves?
No. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It must be.
In 2020. Right, in the Braves in 21.
But yeah, dude, he's not doing so well.
No, terrible,
at all,
terrible.
So.
I picked him up for fantasy, but he only has 1 home run. But like I was saying, with the left-handed hitter coming up, Mark Leiter, the changeup and the splitter, more effective against lefties. Huge strikeout for Leiter. So Leiter, after last year coming over being, an absolute dumpster fire, but then having a huge postseason, little bit of a rocky start to this year, giving up that grand slam to Arizona in the second series of the year. But he's really honed in and been a very important part of this bullpen. And, especially with Loaizaga back, nice to have that you could, employ him in the 5th or 6th inning. You got plenty of guys to finish the job. And that's what he did here. So he gets Peterson to strike out. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning, and the Yankees get 2 on with nobody out after a Goldschmidt walk, a Trent Grisham single. But then Aaron Judge, they bring in Webb to relieve Corbin, strikes out, and he had 2 fastballs in the at-bat, struck out, swung right through him. So you were surprised to see that. He would have something to say about that later on. 2 on, 1 out, but then, Bellinger follows out to third. So now you're thinking, geez, first and second, nobody out. We're not going to take advantage here. But Anthony Volpe, and it was interesting because Texas had gotten, some blue hits themselves, and Volpe hits one in the perfect spot. And actually gets a double out of it. So that scores Goldschmidt. So 3-0 Yankees. So it was nice to see, okay, these 2 opportunities where felt like, after we get an out or 2, maybe we're not going to come through. We do. And that obviously a lot of times makes the difference between losing and winning. And it certainly did in this game. So 3-0. Leiter takes down the Rangers in order, 1-2-3 in the 7th. So you go to the bottom of the 7th. LeMahieu walks to lead off the inning, but then Austin Wells, who definitely it's crazy. Like he's been productive this year. 8 home runs, 28 RBIs, but his average is around 200, and a lot of just swing and miss. So he strikes out there, and I'm expecting him to get it going, but it feels like there's some adjustment that needs to be made. I know he's capable. He's not a 200 hitter. He's at least a 250 hitter. So you expect him to make some of those adjustments, and obviously much of the lineup hitting right now. So you're not really feeling what him and, Volpe are really doing right now. And then Peraza tries to do like a push bunt to first, but like literally hits it like on a line right to the first baseman. So that doesn't work out. And a rare strikeout of Paul Goldschmidt there ends the inning. We go to the 8th inning, Devin Williams in. And it's funny, I keep saying this every time, but it's just like, after that rough start, even though he's been money recently, still you just get this sense of nervousness. And I have to say, I was extremely impressed with him last night because he did not have his command, more so the command with the fastball than the changeup, which is surprising because obviously, we know the airbender is his signature pitch. But he battles here. And after he gets Smith to pop out to short, he gives up a double to Langford. He gets Josh Young to strike out swinging. So you got runner on second, 2 outs, but then on the wild pitch, he advances to third. So you're thinking, all right, this is a tight game. I mean, Adolis Garcia's up. I know he's not having a good year, but we know he's capable of doing damage. But Williams battles. I think this was a more lengthy at bat. Yeah, 7-pitch at bat, and actually gets him to strike out on the fastball. Which was, interesting there. And it was, a full count too. So I think Garcia probably expecting the changeup. He gets the fastball up and he swings right through it. So, 3-0 Yankees going to the bottom of the 8th. And then Trent Grisham, who I think his single earlier in this game had snapped a 0 for 12 streak. Actually had his second hit here. So a leadoff single. So, and then Aaron Judge up. And he actually ends up hitting his shortest home run of his career, 326 feet to right field, first row. But that gave the Yankees a 5-0 lead. And at least to start the ninth, the ability, not to have to bring in Luke Weaver. Ben Rice singled also, but Yankees unable to get any more across there. So Ian Hamilton comes in, and I guess he had limited heavy damage, for most of this year, but his ERA was still high at 4.61. And, so you look at what happens here. He gets Simeon to ground out, but then he walks Jock Peterson, gets Berger to line out, has Heim down to his final strike, and then gives up a home run. So 5-2. You're like, all right, I mean, it's still a 3-run lead. You could just get the next batter. But then Haggerty hits one to like right center. Judge tries to dive, but it was just a ball that, he just didn't have a chance of catching. So it ends up being a triple. So now you got the top of the line, Smith coming up. They go to Luke Weaver. So just so you don't have to worry about it, because some people are saying, oh, why not just leave Hamilton out there? Weaver didn't have a lot of work recently. And it's like, why mess around? Luke Weaver's going to get the job done. Of course, 2 pitches, pops out the second, ball game over. Yankees win 5-2. So just another solid victory here. You got some hits with runners in scoring position, which you love to see. And they've done a great job of that all season consistently. In the top 5, in Major League Baseball. After, the last couple of years, we could look at the numbers, but it didn't feel like they were doing, that great. It's just a lot to like right now. And I mentioned, you're going for your 5th straight series win. You're halfway there. Win tonight will seal that. And it's going to be a long, grueling road trip. So that's why you want to win, as many of these series, many of these home games leading into that. And they've positioned themselves well. And it's just nice to see Warren because he'll still got some time. I wouldn't be surprised if it's still, another, month and a half, 2 months till he returns. So Will Warren's going to be in the rotation. And his last 3 starts have been great. So you just feel really good. Tonight, a little bit of a tougher task because you got Ryan Yarbrough pitching up against Jacob deGrom, who has finally been good and settled in and looking like the pitcher that he was with the Mets. So, like I said, looking forward to that game. Obviously, some elements to deal with, but I think they'll try to navigate them, as best they can. So, we'll see. But like I said, a lot to like. Yeah, 4.5 game lead here in the division. So I think you're right where you want to be, and I think it just feels good too because we talked about this all off season. It just didn't feel like because of what had gone down with Soto in the offseason, it just felt like there was a very negative feeling even amongst a lot of Yankee fans, but the non-Yankee fan. And I talked about many times about Passan saying that they're not going to make the playoffs. So I think this is everything you could hope for, really.
Yeah, definitely. I think I guess in terms of the game, the game was great. It was definitely a game in Warren County last night.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, that Volpe 2-out hit was great for Volpe and obviously for the team. Especially in like a what was it, 2-0 at the time in a tight game like that, 2-out hits are just absolutely gut-wrenching for the team, dude.
Yes.
So obviously, and like you said, the bullpen cleaned it up, Hamilton, whatever, but you got Weaver in there to do the job. So it's like, obviously a big win for them. And then I guess in terms of what you were just saying, I think people were really, and I even saw it with, even some guys from TCA, obviously the Soto tight, whatever, but the guys you brought in, Bellinger and Goldschmidt, people were like a little bit dismissive of these two players.
Right.
And it's like I can see, obviously from Bellinger's standpoint, he's kind of been moving around a little bit, a little quiet.
Didn't have the best year last year, but
the guy is still an MVP caliber player, just as Paul Goldschmidt is, you know.
Right.
And you put them on in a winning organization, on a team that has electric offensive players like the Yankees. They're going to strive. And that's exactly what they're doing now. Bellinger obviously kind of coming into form more so recently, but then Goldschmidt just has been absolutely dialed all season. And you had I think Peraza made a couple good defensive plays.
Oh yeah, I didn't even mention that. I actually had shared that on my story, but he stays in the game. They were almost mentioning like the Derek Jeter like into the stands last night on the broadcast against the Red Sox. But yeah, full dive behind the tarp, He got something caught in his eye, so the trainers had to come out, but it was a pretty impressive play, and he was fortunate, like he didn't break any teeth or anything. I mean, it was just full head right into the back of the tarp, wedged against the wall there.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I mean, that was just an all-around great game from the Yankees. They were showing, both sides of the ball were good. Pitching was great. You got to feel good about going into tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And also too, we were all texting in the JD's group chat. Ernie needed a Judge home run. He goes to his last at bat, gets it. And he had one other parlay. I want to say it was Devers, and I'm sure he'll tell us, but I forgot who the other home run was. But so he says on the comments here, a $440 day off $10, baby. Thank you, Judge.
There we go.
So yeah, I mean, you love to see that. And I didn't even mention this in the group chat last night just because I didn't want to hear, oh, you took him, you jinxed him. But had the Yankees as well. So it was a nice, profitable day for me and Ernie yesterday. And then he had Kyle Tucker. That was the other guy, he says. Nice. Ryan, Tony's favorite, says Yankees domination, Tony. But Tony's still yearning for that steak dinner.
Yeah, I am still yearning for the steak dinner, Matthew. I mean, just hey, listen, but just let me know. I mean, I'm here. I got time. I'm starving right now, dude. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. So that's really all I got. I mean, obviously we'll preview tonight's game. But like you kind of alluded to in the open, unfortunately for the Mets, another tough one last night in Fenway Park.
Yeah, dude. A real abysmal, sad, depressing 2-0 loss.
Cold, dark,
a little drizzling,
drizzle.
Dude. It was not a good night in Boston for anybody, really. I guess unless you were a Boston fan, I suppose. But we do get the Clay Holmes start and against Walker Buehler. And I mean, listen, Clay Holmes has been definitely a bright spot, and he had a great outing, honestly. It's definitely a quality start, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks. Wasn't efficient enough, only threw the 90 pitches through those 6 innings. But obviously, you look at the score, 2-0. Obviously, pitching wasn't the problem here. It was predominantly hitting. And, you're going into this game, Walker Buehler, and especially for someone like me, I know he's maybe been a little up and down, I guess, but we've looked at his past 5 starts, pretty solid in terms of runs given up. Still, I think, above a 4 on the season. But nonetheless, you knew you had some work to do, all right? And not for nothing, Walker Buehler kind of did all that work for you because in the 3rd inning, gets ejected for arguing, I guess, a couple things, I suppose. Really mainly balls and strikes, I guess, at that point. And I will say the umpire behind the plate, like I said before, I mean, I think he was a little quick to eject Buehler. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Was he doing a shit job?
No. I mean, I will say I'm trying to think now. I believe that I forget who went to steal second. But maybe it was Soto. Was it Soto that went to steal second?
Are you talking about the play that we challenged or didn't challenge, rather?
Yeah.
It was Lindor.
It was Lindor that stole second, but it was definitely a strike down the middle, and the called it a ball.
Oh, yes. I actually saw the replay of that.
And listen, I mean, the catcher was
Blocking
standing.
him?
Yeah, his catcher was standing, okay? So obviously for the up's perspective, he probably saw the catcher standing and go like this. So he's like, oh, it probably was a pitch out to get the guy at second.
Right.
Obviously called it a ball. And Buehler was tight, dude. Ejected him. Cora comes out, banging the fucking phone in the dugout. Just so upset, dude. Rightfully so, because it's like, this is your starter. Now you got to worry about using your bullpen pieces for the rest of the game. Cora gets ejected. Which is kind of funny too, because I don't think he wasn't even at the game the other night. Because I think he was at his daughter's graduation or something, whatever it was. So in any case, dude, you're sitting there and you're like, all right, this is kind of sick. Because I mean, not for nothing, through 2 1/3, he fanned 4 batters.
Right.
The curveball was working.
Now
the fastball was working.
The bullpen has to go the whole game.
And I was like, oh, this
tough.
is sick, dude. But obviously, the bullpen gives up 0 runs here because they didn't score anything at all. And it's just I mean, that's the story of the entire game. I mean, you were 0 for 7 in runners in scoring position. And we talked about the RISP numbers here. I believe they're 218 or 212 batting average with runners in scoring position. You had plenty of opportunities. Lindor still grounding out into double plays. Soto is striking out. I mean, literally, the only good thing you can see here is that Nimmo had a great throw, I think, in the 2nd inning from left field on a rope to throw someone out at home. Beatty was looking way better at 3rd base than Vientos has been looking this season. But I mean, it's just the bats are totally fucking lost, dude. And not for nothing, again, talking about setting the tone. I think Lindor did Lindor have a leadoff hit in the first inning? I forget. No, he grounded out. But then Soto strikes out, and the body language of Soto at this point, dude, is just like head in the fucking sand. And like I said yesterday, I think it is affecting the rest of the team. Alonso's been ice cold. I don't know, his past 2 weeks, let's say. He was batting well over 300. I think he's down to like a 290 now.
Yeah.
And it was same deal, dude. His first strikeout, it's in the first inning. He swung on maybe it was a slider, like backdoor, inside back foot. And he did like one of those, like went to swing and then tried to do like one of these and then did this. Okay. And he's just MFing himself walking back to the dugout. And like I said, I just think at this point, people are cooling off and it's getting into the heads of a lot of these Mets batters in the box. I think they feel lost. They're lacking confidence right now. And like I said, you start your first inning like that. And you had attitude all game. How do you expect to come out of that? How do you expect to, when you do have an opportunity with a runner in scoring position, that you make a clutch hit? If you have that mentality, it's just not going to happen. So again, I don't know if Mendoza needs to sit down with the team, if we need a team meeting, locker room, something to kind of jumpstart some offense here. Because not for nothing, like your pitching is doing well here. Your Clay Holmes pitched really well. Craddock pitched 2 good innings at the end of this game. I guess speaking of Clay Holmes, he was clean through 5. And in that 5th inning, he gives up a homer to Narvaez, strikes out Duran, I think, and then Devers gets a homer. And it wasn't even necessarily mistakes, I guess maybe the Narvaez, I think he threw a sinker that was probably in the middle of the zone, but then Devers, it was like a slider that was blown away. Devers was sitting on it. He's a good hitter,
Right.
What are you going to do?
Right.
That's going to happen when you have hitters like that you're facing. Like you're due to give one up. But 6 innings, 2 earned runs is by no means a start that you expect to get a loss out of. I think at this point you're looking at these bats who are just absolutely ice cold. And we talked about other guys in the lineup that had a bunch of offers. I know Soto had 1 hit. But other than that, he was 1 for 3 in the night. Alonso, the 0 for 4 spot, that's really hurting. Nimmo's been dog shit on the plate as well, 0 for 4 as well. Vientos, who's been DHing, had a hit, but still, I think he had just 1 hit. But still, it's just like it's not enough. And the bottom half of your lineup, who's not been great. I was looking this series to see Alvarez maybe start to heat up.
Yeah.
I think he has 1 homer, maybe 8 RBIs in the season or something like that.
And how did the at-bat's not good either? Obviously I know the results aren't, but does he seem like he's close, or is he just?
I guess he's swinging the bat. I guess you could say he has like hard hits.
Okay, it's aggressive cuts.
Yeah,
yeah.
But it's just like game 1, ground out double play in the 9th inning. It's like it's not the outcomes you're looking for here. And I mentioned Beatty, good defense, but he's batting 200 over 3 last night. So it's just like at this point you need somebody to jumpstart something, because it's just not enough, and not for nothing. I mentioned the runners in scoring position. I guess 0 for 7, dude. Like you can't.
Yeah, not 1.
Alvarez 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position last night. Like you got to figure out how to score something, dude. In a tight game like this, it's tough, dude. I was looking at this game to hopefully get a win and somewhat maybe try to salvage this season. You got Crochet on the mound tonight. He pitches really well,
Right.
I'm pretty sure McGill is pitching for the Mets, who his last 3 starts hasn't been good, dude.
Right.
So it seems that the Mets are having a real tough time, dude. And I will say, I guess Soto, Alonso, you're looking at hard hit balls. They're hitting the green monster, I guess. But it's just like, at the end of the day, I don't know. Try to get like a RBI single, like don't try to pull the ball and hit it over the green monster. There's no reason to do that right now. Just get runners in scoring position and then get a single, bring them in somehow. I also will say too, I feel like, Jeff McNeil starting at second. He's okay, I guess. I think at this point I would still rather see Acuna. Especially because again, like he has been hitting the ball well, putting, back to the ball, good contact, getting the ball on the ground. And how many times have I been like glazing him this season, like a shallow hit, you see him go from first to home,
Right.
like the speed on the bags, like that's, I feel like the jump start you need a little bit, like
Right.
let him go to work, like let him get a single, let him steal second, go to steal third, like try to put pressure, on the Red Sox right now. There's no pressure on them at all, dude. Like I know it's a tight game, but you're watching this game. It doesn't feel like the Mets are in it, So you got to get something going offensively here. And I guess we'll see what happens tonight. But like I said, I mean, Crochet on the bump, like you're not confident.
Yeah,
that the bats will come around tonight.
Especially, like you said, the way McGill's been pitching. Now, how did Soto? I know he had this single. I mean, how did he look out there? I mean, any different than what we've seen the last couple of days? Like or same? Kind of just like,
not really.
Yeah,
kind of the same, dude.
Yeah.
If not like more depressed.
Yeah, if not worse. Yeah.
And we talked about this extensively yesterday, Zach. I mean, what's your take on everything? I mean, what do you think is going on there?
I think it's a combination of us. Obviously, we're not hitting. The pitching's been good. I mean, 2-0. What are you going to do? It was 2 solo shots, and those were good pitches. It wasn't like they were meatballs.
Yeah, right.
We're not hitting the ball at the end of the day. Nothing that we can do if we can't hit the ball. And also just a lot of tough breaks. Like a lot of those pop-up balls that you kind of thought were going to be home runs are just kind of dying in the air. So we're also just nothing has bounced our way, even if you go back to the Subway Series too. We're catching a lot of tough breaks, but can't put guys on, can't score. You're not going to win. So,
but now, what about Soto specifically? I mean, what do you think's going on there? Everyone talking about how he doesn't want to be there, this and that. I mean, what do you think about all that? The mom deciding because she needs her.
Did you hear that? The mom made him sign with the Mets
and the season tickets. That's
why. I had heard. Well, I had heard like Cohen kind of promised him all that stuff for his family, and that's kind of what set it apart. Except for the other $760 million. But no, I had heard about that. I think with Soto, it's more like he's just not himself. He's not having fun out there. You can tell. Like and he's just not like aggressive. Like last year with the Yankees, and even like going back, if you want to go back to the Padres, like he's an aggressive player when he's at the plate. He's challenging pitchers. I don't feel like you're seeing that. Like he's kind of just going up there. I've never also seen someone talk to a catcher and an umpire more in my life. Like he's always like
he did always do that though.
Yeah,
I mean, he did always do that last year. But I'm saying, do you think he's playing like that because it's like, oh, he got off to a bad start and then it's just like his confidence is down, or you think he's playing like that because he actually doesn't like being there?
No, I think he's just off to a rough start.
And it's just eating him up.
Yeah. I think he thought a lot about the choice he made coming to play for us.
Right.
It's more just he's struggling right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure on him. But I mean, you're Juan Soto, so you gotta find a way to deal with that pressure.
And I think too, because obviously, I mean, he's just been such a tremendous player his entire career that he's just not really used to kind of being like criticized and like not being like everyone amazed at what he's doing all the time. I think that's tough for him.
I think you're right too. Like especially last year too, it was like kind of a love affair with him and Yankees fans, and everything was great, and he was hitting well. I mean, he basically sent you guys to the World Series. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was a very different feeling last year. This year, there was a lot of criticism on him. There's a lot of pressure. A lot of people who don't like him anymore because of what he did.
Right. I guess he never really had that if you really think about it.
Like,
right.
I don't know. I'm sure he'd get booed some places, but definitely not like this. And you were saying that at Fenway, it's been the same thing.
I mean, even when he left the Nationals, they were like happy for him.
Yeah, they were like,
back,
you won a World Series.
Yeah, that's awesome. And like, we're still a shitty team. Like, good for you, man. Exactly. We're happy that you left. Like, oh.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. So, I mean, I think it's just like in any sport, any situation, it's just like winning and succeeding solves everything. So, I mean, obviously the Mets just hoping to kind of, switch this around. And you said, they're going to be home against the Dodgers after this, right? So
that's right.
Yeah. So that's a big series.
Kershaw on Friday.
At least Kershaw, like this I think is only his second start back. He got hammered last time.
One start against the Angels, I think 5 innings, 4 earned runs. Gonsolin going to start on Saturday. He got, I think, hammered this weekend.
Yeah.
And then Knack on Sunday. So you kind of like those pitching matchups. Yes. And I think you're ending the weekend with Senga. So you kind of like that. But again, if you lose 2-0, like,
what are we going to do?
What are we going to do?
Yeah.
And also in the back of my head, I'm thinking like, wow, Kershaw, like.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think Kershaw is like on the brink of retirement.
No, he is.
He's really
dude.
Pushing it at this point.
I mean, the injuries for him has been pretty outrageous. He's extending his career for sure. But But again, I mean, a pitcher like that, I mean, you never know. I mean, people thought DeGrom was going to be done. So
yeah. No, it'll be interesting. That's for sure. But yeah, like we said, a lot of games tonight. Now, do we have updated on the picks
sorry,
from
no, I
but
don't
we
think.
We could,
we can update it live.
I think
dude.
I did pretty well, if I'm not mistaken.
Dude, I did not do well here. You had Yankees in the over, right?
Yeah,
pencil here.
So that's gonna be 1-1.
1-1. Okay, and then you had Philly and the over. How did they do last night?
Philly clobbered.
They did, right?
Rockies. What was the score? 7-4. I mean, I don't think it was 11.5. Make sure, but
it literally might be 11.5.
If it is, I mean, that's pretty beat. Hopefully 10.5, 9.5.
Phillies
can't score. 11.5.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2-2. 2-2.
That's 2-2 spot.
And then I had the Tigers in the under. Right?
You had Tigers. No, you had Seattle in the under. I have.
Oh well, 1-1 again. So 3-3.
All right, so 3-3. That's good.
Yep.
And then I had Mets in the over. 0-2. Don't laugh at me, Zach. We had Dodgers and the over as well. Dodgers won it in 10, 7.5. I don't feel like looking. It's probably the under. So we'll call that 1-3. And then I had Blue Jays in the over. Jeez. And that's a little 2-4 spot right there. So then collectively here, because I was 5-1 the other day, that's going to be a 7-5 right now for Tony. And then Brian, after a 3-3 and a 3-3. Oh, you're 6-6.
All right,
there we go. Keeping it tight, dude, as we've been with these picks.
Yeah. And then courtesy of the Bronx Muchachos podcast, just a couple like stat things that I found pretty interesting here. So I mentioned Warren, pitching well in May, his 2.38 ERA, so that's pretty good. And then also in May, second in baseball, only behind Tariq Skubal, 13.5 K per 9. So you love to see that. And then Devin Williams, really coming on, around as well. Last 10 appearances, batters are 3 for 28, 107, and he struck out 14 of those batters, striking out half of the batters that he faces. And it's nice too. It seems like it's a common, sentiment amongst people close to the situation that they're not touching the 8th and 9th. Like they're just going to leave Williams in the 8th, Weaver in the 9th. I mean, I think that's
it's been doing
money combination.
Yeah, dude.
Why would you change it?
Yeah, you wouldn't. I mean, not for nothing. Williams has been looking okay in the 8th inning. So
yeah.
Like, there we go.
And of course, like I say this with, of course, anytime you have a bullpen that has Mariano Rivera, like he's the best, of course, so that makes it different. But I think as a whole, this might be the best Yankee bullpen I've ever seen, top to bottom. I mean, with Loizaga coming back. I mean, you saw against him. I mean, he's dialed like he didn't miss any time.
No, literally, it's great and perfect timing. I mean, for the return.
Yeah, so you love that. So definitely excited, for the game tonight. And then before we get to our pick segment here, I guess we have a couple: Matthew Ryan and Kev Dew.
Yes. Let me scroll up here.
Kev Dew saying it's basketball season, basically.
I mean,
yes.
The Knicks, dude. Yeah.
You get it, Tony. Because you're not saying it's basketball season.
Well, no, I'm not really that dialed in to the basketball season. Did you see that they named whatever street Jalen Brunson Street or whatever?
No, what street was it?
I forget. Some dude called it in the Manhattan. Some dude called Rick and Dave about it. And even Dave was, and not for nothing, like Dave was kind of right. He's like, not for nothing, dude. You win 2 playoff series and like they naming streets after this guy.
Naming a street. I don't know. Kind of reminds me of like taking away an NCAA championship. Like, what does it actually mean?
Right, exactly. But like, what are they gonna do if they win the fucking championship? Like,
they're gonna burn down the city.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna happen. I mean, it's already bad now.
Oh my god, dude.
And I guess it's West 11th. But what else we got here?
Just Matthew Ryan saying Juan Soto is shit.
Yeah, nonsense. Dude, doesn't matter. What does Ernie say here? Is Ernie talking shit too?
No,
that
was before. Yeah, that was about his bet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's it then.
Yeah. It's 11th and 7th.
11th and 7th.
Kev Dew wants to smoke. Let's fucking go Knicks. Let's go Knicks.
Kev Dew wants to smoke.
But yeah, let's do a Wednesday edition of the MLB pick segment here.
Absolutely, dude.
Brought to you by the Hirsch Law Firm. And I'm trying to think here. I believe
you go first. I
am up here. So, of course, we're going to take a trip back to the Bronx, back to Yankee Stadium. Rainy conditions in all. Jacob deGrom towing the slab here against Ryan Yarborough. And if you look at the odds here, Yankees only slight favorites because of the pitching advantage. DeGrom, like we said, has been money. 4-1, 2.29 ERA. So Yanks minus 115, Texas minus 105. So I think this is going to definitely be a lower scoring game. And I like what Yarbrough has done, his last few appearances. As a whole, his ERA sits at 3.70. But if you look at the last 2 games he started, 5 innings, 2 earned runs against the A's, and then against Tampa, 4 innings, only 1 earned run. So he's done the job. And after a shaky start to his season where he allowed 4 runs, against Arizona in only 2/3 of an inning, he's really settled down. So I'm confident that he could just do the old 5 and fly here, and maybe 5 innings, 2 earned runs, and then I think the Yankees against DeGrom, maybe he even pitches 7 innings, but I think we'll tag him for 2 runs as well, and then like we've done, close game late, score a couple runs to win, and I think that's what happens here. And I think at the end of the day, the Yankees will win this game by the same score as yesterday, 5-2. So give me the Yankees and the under. And for Ernie, it's been a little while, it feels like anyway. Take Austin Wells for a dinger. I think he's due. I think he's due to not swing through a couple pitches right down the middle. So let's go Wells for a homer, but Yankees in the under.
You said that yesterday, I'm pretty sure, for Ernie too.
Yeah, we'll do it again. How about that? Huh? He's only throwing $5. What's the difference?
All right, dude. What do you think, Zach? Should I go for the Mets?
One more time.
One more time, dude.
It's like one more
Let's
grit.
do it, dude. Yeah, honestly, at this point it is. I'm writing myself down for the Mets, and I write myself down for the fucking over, okay, dude? I don't give a shit. I see the bats are flying. McGill, honestly, probably will get fucking popped. I got a feeling. But I think Crochet, maybe for the first time this season, I guess I haven't been on top of all of his starts, but obviously, I mean, you look at his numbers so far, 2 ERA, 4-3 on the season. Obviously, the 3 losses probably not really his fault, but I say he gets popped tonight too. At home, dude, gonna look ugly. You'll see Riley Souza upset. Certainly, dude. I say, I don't know, second inning, Soto with a dinger over the Green Monster, the proverbial monkey off of his back. He goes on to have a 3-for-4 night, dialed in with 3 ribbies, dude. Alonso probably still struggling, and why not, dude? Brett Beatty, bottom half of the lineup. Let's get going. Dinger for him. Alvarez, a nice maybe 2-run double later on to tack on some more runs. Mets end up winning this game. Bullpen still looks okay, dude, but I say McGill, 5 innings, 4 earned runs, 4 walks, 5 hits, dude. Mets go on to win this one. I'm going to say 7-5, baby. Mets in the over.
All right, going back to the well here with the Phillies. I think another win here in Colorado. I mean, obviously no shit, but listen, we're trying to put W's in the column here. 11.5. I'm going to say go under this time, just because I guess Colorado can't hit. So why are you going to take the over? Phillies, maybe score 7-8 runs, but I think the Rockies probably only scored 2. So let's say Phillies in the under, and for Ernie again, I know Schwarber went deep, 17 home runs this season. Take him and Harper to go deep. So put that in your homer parlay, Ernie. But let's go Phillies and the under.
I like that call there. I think my next game here, we're gonna go back to Toronto, back to the well, dude. We got Gaussman on the bump for Toronto. He's my fantasy team, eating shit so far all season long against the Padres here. Arai's been batting well. I got Bogarts and Tatis on my team. They've been doing all right, dude. So I say Padres take on this one. Gaussman, honestly, running out of town. 3-4 in the year. Like I said, I've been looking at his starts. Not good there. I think he's good for 6 innings, but probably 4 earned runs, especially later part in the games. He has not been doing well. Second, third time through the lineup. So I think Padres tack them on late. They win, I'll say 5-3, which is probably the over. So give me Padres and the over, dude.
All right. I'm going to go to Washington here. 6:45 start. Braves and Nats. You got A.J. Smith, Schauver, I believe how you say it, versus Tony's old friend here, Trevor Williams. 2-5, 5.91 ERA this season. And the Braves did just lose last night to Washington. And what I think we're gonna see here though is the Braves bounce back. I think Smith Shawver has pitched well this year. Probably one of the more underrated pitchers in the league. 2.33 ERA, 40 Ks, 38 and 2/3 innings. And I think the Braves hit around Williams. I think Matt Olson, who had a dinger yesterday, goes deep with Austin Riley. So those are two more names for Yerney. And I think the Braves easily win this one in Washington. Maybe take the over on strikeouts for Shawver. But I'm going to say the Braves win, let's say 7-1. So we're going to go Braves and the under.
Braves and the under, dudes. All right, my last game here. I guess we're gonna go to Sacramento. I guess, dude. I'm not really loving this pick, but I think I'm just gonna go for it anyway, dude. So we have the A's playing the Angels. The A's are looking to avoid the sweep here. I'm just double checking here because the Angels have been on a winning streak, actually.
Yeah, I mean they swept the Dodgers.
Swept the Dodgers, which is pretty wild. And then on top of that, dude. They are, hold on, stand by. I know they have, it's only 5 in a row. Oh, get the hell out of here. All right, they're going to make it not 5 in a row. They're going to lose this game, dude. I say the A's here snap a 7-game losing streak here tonight. You had JP Sears on the mound. Pretty solid season, 4-3, but a 3.31 ERA. Got popped against San Francisco recently, but pitched okay against the Yankees. 5 innings, 1 earned run. I say he puts up something together like that against the Angels here tonight. And then, I mean, why not? Let's give Brent Rooker his 11th homer of the season. Soderstrom has been killing it, 30 ribbies. So he tacks on 2 more. Jacob Wilson, I think, is batting almost 350 for the A's. A couple of good batters there. So I see the A's take this one, edging out the Angels. I'll say 6-4, which the over-under is 10.5. So 6-4. I guess I'll go with the under. I don't love it, but we'll go A's and the under for my last pick.
All right. So just like that, that's your 6-pack MLB picks. So yeah, another interesting night on the diamond, ahead of us. So excited for that. But I think it's time for a grid. Yerney in the building, by the way. He says he likes I believe Riley and Wells for a home run.
Really?
So we'll see if that's in his parlay later.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it is, dude. I mean, I hope he gets it, I really do. So you had Braves and the under. Okay, so I wasn't paying attention. And your last pick?
That was my last pick. I had the Phillies before that.
Phillies and the
all
under.
unders.
All unders.
Phillies, Yankees, Braves under.
A night of unders.
A night of unders.
Okay, dude.
Yes.
Phillies, interesting, dude. And the Braves, sure.
All right.
Oh, nice.
So we got we got the grid in front of us here.
Phillies, all right.
Some 6 WAR, which is interesting as well.
I got one already.
Rollins
for the Phillies. No, that's scumbag Chase Utley.
Okay, go Utley.
Okay, dude. I forget what game it was. They had him in the
8%.
fucking box.
There you go. You think Ellie had a 6 last year? I don't know.
I would.
With all those steals? Yeah, maybe we'll just relax on that.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Reds in the WAR. We could do Batista for Braves and Phillies. Jose?
Braves and Phillies. Yeah, sure. Not the National League guy.
I don't know. When it comes to Phillies, I guess I do remember a lot of Phillies guys.
The right one.
Yeah.
1%, baby.
There we go.
Brewers is tough.
Reds and Braves. Denny Nagel.
Reds, Braves. Yeah.
Denny. D-E.
D-E. The spelling is always tough.
There we go.
Let's see.
2%. That's kind of a throwback.
There we go, baby.
Phillies Brewers. Yerney says Valerio de los Santos.
Hello.
And he says, let's fucking go.
Man, I'm going to need
VALER. There on the bottom there.
Gotcha.
Let's see. 6 and 6.
Okay. And then we got the 300 career home runs for the Brewers.
I mean, I know we've used Robin Yount before for the Brewers, but I don't know.
What about Donaldson? Does he have 300? I think he does.
He must, right?
Yeah. Go Donaldson.
Yeah, go Donaldson. Because I wasn't sure about Robin Yount. I just know because he's an old guy on the Brewers. Oh, come on.
First miss in a while for me, I had to say. I guess we haven't missed in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a little while, dude.
I'm curious how much. He must be close though. That's really annoying.
I
guess go to a grid from this past weekend. I wonder how close this is. This has to be 279.
What a shithead, dude.
Yeah, he sucks. That's why we hated him.
Yeah, that's that guy.
All right.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, we could do this.
Oh, wow, dude. Okay.
And then he says, "Good Lord, quick guns, man." That's what Ernie said.
Oh,
all right.
fuck.
So Yankees, Giants. Do Mike Tauchman.
Yeah, I don't know how much help I'll be on this one.
All right, 3%. Yankees, Twins. Do LaTroy Hawkins. 1%.
1%.
Second base for the Yankees. You could do Steven Drew.
Steven Drew, dude.
It's annoying. That's all the Yankees category.
I think it's PH.
PH it is, yeah.
It's like STEPH, like Steven.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, what a dickhead, right?
Come on, who spells it?
Mm-hmm. Steven Drew. You got 2 first names.
0.3. All right, and then let's see here.
Only
one team.
Dude, Buster's probably a million.
No. I'm saying with that, you got to just think about. I mean, Logan Webb is probably high too, but you got to just think of. No, Estrada was with the Yankees.
Oh, that's right.
But you got to just think about guys who just came up, type of deal. But do
what do you got for Giants? Only one team.
All right,
Tyler Fitzgerald.
Tyler Fitzgerald. There we go.
Let's go, dude. Danny getting into the mix here.
And then for Blue Jays, second
2%.
base on the bottom left, do Orlando Hudson. Have a throwback.
Nice.
1%.
Cooking.
All right. And then let's see. Giants, Jays, Omar Vizquel, Yerney.
Yerney, that was a Yerney call?
1%.
Nice.
Yep. We're also really good.
Shape it up, dude.
And then only one team
playing
second base.
Jeff McNeil.
Why not?
Right? I mean,
yeah, Jeff McNeil.
No one's really going to think about that, I guess, right?
Like, why would you? Yeah.
Right? That guy's 3%.
3%. There we go.
All right.
So only one team on the Twins. I'm trying to think about guys that like who's on the Twins right now. I mean Buxton, right? But that maybe.
I'm
trying to think of who else. Duran, has he been on any other team? The closer? Johan Duran.
I don't think so. Right? I mean, I feel like this year was the first year I kind of even recognized him.
Yeah, go Duran. So just type in Duran. He should come up.
Not to be confused with
and that one, yeah. Yep. 2%.
Nice, dude.
There we go. So just Twins, Jays, Henry Blanco. See what type of performance we got here. 13.
The bounce back's a new low, dude.
I think me and Michael had a 13.
Oh, yeah.
Remember we had a 14.
We had a 14.
Yeah.
Let's freaking go, dude.
Very quick recovery.
There we go.
And obviously, I mean, we're already saying it already, but fuck Josh Johnson. I mean, that's a joke.
My
All
God,
the home runs that he hit, but it's because he
MVP
just fell apart with the
season,
Yankees.
Dude, yeah.
I mean, that was crazy. I mean, obviously, Brian Cashman should have had the hindsight not to trade for him. And it was crazy too. Like that trade was just all like to get rid of Gary Sanchez, but can't hate on Cashman too much. Obviously, this past offseason, has worked out pretty well so far. But yeah, good to get another grid in there. But let's go now to the world of the National Hockey League.
Here he comes. McDavid shoots. Top shelf. He scores. Captain with the overtime winner. That's the middle. It's a world-class hit right here. Tomsky stepping. Rink Washington made the full split save. Are you kidding me? Turn. Side of the net between the legs and they score. Filthy. David Pastrnak. The silver trophy to the Golden Knights.
All right. So last night, I guess that's why you don't doubt the defending champs like we did. As they take out the Hurricanes at the Lenovo Center 5-2. Another vintage playoff performance there from Sergei Bravowski, 31, of 33. And really, this game wasn't really in question. I mean, I guess going into the second, period, it was 2-1, and Aho had one right before the horn. But 3-1 after 2, and then the Panthers kind of just cruise from that point. Like I said, winning 5-2. And I mean, obviously not what you want if you're Carolina. But I guess, I mean, you just feel like, okay, well, let's just try to at least split at home, and kind of take our chances from there. But I think they were shown that, Florida's tough. And it seems like too, Tony, as the postseason goes on, Florida is getting better.
Oh my God. Yeah, no doubt about that. I mean, we talked about Carolina being that type of team, that would really like suffocate you, kind of going, just in your own zone, not letting you move the puck and stuff like that. Florida obviously being the team that can move the puck well. But like you said, I mean, I kind of thought, not for nothing, that Carolina would have done a better job here. And I mean, I think there's a lot of things to kind of break down here, and I think that the Panthers' physicality honestly comes into a bigger play here. I don't know if you saw Brad Marchand get ejected last night.
Hothead.
Yeah, absolute hothead. We know about Marchand historically, absolute rat. Especially with his career on the Bruins. I mean, the guy's known for dirty hits, dirty plays, but that's his game. He gets inside your head and then he fucking scores goals to kind of back up that nonsense. But we saw Shane Gostisbehere. I don't really know why Shane Gostisbehere did this, to be honest, because I know they were saying Brad Marchand like kind of went through for a body check on Gostisbehere. But then like it didn't really hit him. I don't know if they said anything. I don't know if there's prior history maybe there or whatever. Obviously, they both have been in the East for their careers. But whatever reason, Shane Gostisbehere like shot a puck like pretty obviously intentionally at Brad Marchand, like in the middle of play, dude. Like he was skating through the neutral zone. There's Brad Marchand, kind of winds up and shoots the puck at his body. And obviously Marchand not too privy to that fight, ejections. But again, I mean, that's Brad Marchand's game, and not for nothing, that is the Panthers game too. They absolutely they eat away at you, dude. And I'm sorry, but like it is game one here. And if you're going to act like that and you're on the Hurricanes, like it is over, dude. You got to keep a level head here, play your game, as you've been doing, like you've been doing in postseasons past and in this regular season. Like Hurricanes are the team that does normally just play their game and kind of chip away, find, an opportunity to score. And they do that. But an act like this, dude, I mean, they gotta dial it in, specifically Gostisbehere. I don't want to generalize the entire team here, but again, I mean, you're just fueling the fire. That's the Panthers right now. When you do shit like that. And obviously the 5 goals early on, I just never really felt like Carolina was necessarily in this game. They had good pushes, 33 shots on goal. Tommy said it yesterday. The goaltending matchup is definitely in favor of the Panthers here. Bobrovsky, or maybe did he say Anderson? I kind of forget.
I mean, he must have said Bravowski, right? I mean, there's no way that Freddie has not outplayed Bravowski.
I mean, I don't think I know Bob is a little bit older.
Yeah.
But we saw him get multiple. I think
Freddie's old too, though.
Freddie's a little older, and Bobrovsky's had multiple shutouts this postseason. He's definitely due for at least one a series here. And he killed it. I mean, you mentioned 31 saves on 33 shot attempts. Again, Florida only getting 20 shots on goal, but obviously quality shots, 2 for 3 on the power play as well. That's it right there. I mean, Carolina, again, the hot heads, kind of going on the power play 3 times. You can't be doing that here. So they gotta figure it out if you're Carolina in terms of keeping a level head and just keeping the puck on the ice here. But boy, I mean, what a great game it was. The physicality, obviously the big names here. It's Eastern Conference Finals. All right, like this is it, dude. So Carolina trying to get over that hump. Tommy did say yesterday too, you have 2 great coaches going at it, and Brendan Moore and Maurice too. So you love to see that. And I know this, like I said, Panthers kind of had it from the jump here. The 2 goals in the first. Obviously, and then the 2 in the third too. But I'm sure this series will be back and forth.
Yeah. And obviously the Hurricanes hoping to buck the trend. I just saw this statistic after last night. They've lost 13 straight Eastern Conference Finals games.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, that's
not
a lot.
good. Yeah.
And then to be facing Florida on top of it. But I think they will bounce back tomorrow.
I think so too. You need to.
We'll see. And we talked about it a lot with Tommy on the dial yesterday. I think a lot of fireworks going to be between the Stars and the Oilers. They're going to get started tonight in Dallas. Dallas here -130, Edmonton +110 on the money line. Two of the hottest teams I think in the NHL. I mean, just so much momentum. On both sides, tons of offense. I mean. I think, to use a word we've been using a lot, I think it's going to be fascinating, right?
Yeah, I do think a fascinating matchup. Again, Tommy said it. Ottinger is definitely one of the better, or if not the best, goaltender left here in the playoffs. So it should be interesting to see. I don't know, man. The only thing I didn't really like, I forget. Was it after maybe the last game against, I don't know, maybe what, it doesn't matter, but Andre was asked about McDavid because obviously they're facing off, and he was kind of glazing McDavid for a little bit, which is like, I guess that's fine. I mean, you can't like discount that. You can't, I mean, he is obviously one of the better players in the league here. But it's like, I don't know. As a goaltender, like I would have liked to have heard him say, yeah, like I'm looking forward to shutting him down. Like I'd like to see more of a killer mentality out of him. That kind of worries me a little bit. But we do get Dallas here at home. I think home ice will take very much. No ice. I think home ice will take precedent here. I've been very high on what Dallas has been putting out there at the American Airlines Arena, I believe is what it's called, or center or whatever. But the green. The Dallas folks here, I mean, they are earning for a Stanley Cup appearance here. I mean, you even go back to last season, they were definitely, knocked out a little bit earlier than I think they anticipated, dude. But I mean, you could also say the same for the Oilers, obviously, as well, coming up. I mean, going the furthest you can go without winning. But I think Dallas here tonight, I think what's important here for Dallas is that they just, come out strong and just do not let up at all. We've seen so many times Oilers come back in overtime, come back in the third period to force that overtime. You can't let those guys in immediately. You have to rely on your defense to shut down McDavid. And I know you can sit here and be like, well, we've seen Draisaitl score. We've seen Kane make an impact. We've seen Eugene Hopkins. I forget who their defenseman is. Bouchard, makes significant contributions offensively. So it's not just McDavid, obviously. But listen, you kind of you obviously have the favor. You have the advantage goaltending wise. So let's go Ottinger and let's go like Duquesne. And I'm looking to see Jason Robertson. I'm looking to see him being a factor here for Dallas as well. He's been a little quiet since coming back from injury to start this playoffs here. So a couple goals here or there. I guess I can look at his stats. I guess I really haven't looked at his stats in terms of postseason here so far. Yeah, he's got 6 games, only 1 point to show for it from an assist, dude. Robertson, I think, is due to go off. So watch out for him from game 1, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be great. And like I said, I think it's going to be a 7-game series. Mm-hmm. But now I'll take Edmonton here in game 1. Mm-hmm. I think very close overtime, maybe double overtime. Let's say double overtime. And I think we're going to see, 5-4 Oilers here. I can see it being Draisaitl. But just the physicality, the back and forth, the speed, I think all of that will be displayed, on the ice tonight at the American Airlines Center.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a great game.
And you know what I'm curious to know? Because I guess Dallas, they're in the central time zone. The Oilers being on the West Coast, is this still going to, I wonder if there's still be 8 o'clock games? I mean, I kind of think so, right? For the national audience. Like, they're not going to have this be at like at 10 o'clock in Edmonton,
gosh,
right?
I really hope not, dude. Let's see.
Or I guess they probably should show us already. So that would be what, Saturday?
Sunday. Oh, well, it's Sunday, so it's 3 o'clock.
Okay, Sunday, but then it would be Tuesday.
8 p.m.
I knew they weren't going to do that.
That would be wild.
Yeah. So, that'll be tonight is TNT, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
TNT tonight. So, should be interesting. So, excited to see what happens.
Interesting or fascinating?
Yes, it will be definitely fascinating. I'm sure Tommy licking his chops to watch this game tonight.
Oh yeah, dude.
So that's where we are there. But let's take a quick trip to the world of the National Basketball Association.
LeBron James at the buzzer. He banks in the three, and the Lakers win the game.
And Michael Butka with a sky is blue comment here saying, Barnes, I have a feeling you live and breathe baseball. And also, who is JD and Tommy? And he knows. I think he's as somebody would say, I think Michael Butka being very facetious, as he's seen both of them in the comments and, all of that. So just wanted to get that in there. But Knicks Pacers, and I don't think I've got to talk to you about this with Zach, but I mean, is it not unbelievable that the Knicks find themselves in this position? I didn't look at the odds, but I imagine a favorite in this series, or it has to be very close. But just the fact that they're in the Eastern Conference Finals, first chance, go to the NBA Finals in a quarter century.
Yeah, it's really wild. And me and Tony did the show last week, and I admit I'm wrong. I was wrong. I really thought the Celtics were like gaining momentum again, and I was getting a little scared that it was going to be a Knicks collapse, but it turned out that they pulled it out. So I'm very happy that they're here. I can't believe it still. But yeah, we are the favorite too. So it's going to be interesting in the Garden, get those first two games, get them going early.
And what are you thinking in terms of this series? I mean, are you expecting the Knicks to win? Is it a long series? I mean, what are you expecting to see?
I think it's going to be a long series. I think it'll go 6 or 7. Just based on last year, that series was a dogfight.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be even better this year because we're at full strength, which is awesome. Because last year you kind of saw them running out of gas. Late.
Randall was injured?
Brunson went down.
Yeah.
Brunson later in the series.
The series, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it'll be interesting to see it at full strength, but also I'm not just going to write it off and be like, Knicks, easy.
Yeah.
Pacers have shown that they're really good, and they really did a number on the Cavs, which was kind of shocking to me. I know they dealt with some injuries, but still, I mean, that's a huge win for them. So they definitely have momentum right now.
Yeah. And I said this the other day. I mean, I think it's going to be Knicks in 7, but this is going to be a tough series. And I think what we'll see like throughout the first 4 games, probably a split on both home courts here. But I think the Knicks riled up. Home crowd here, game 1. I do think they'll get the job done, but I think it's going to be right down to the wire. Last possession, maybe Bridges making that defensive play once again to kind of seal things here. Kind of interesting, and I think it has to do with both teams. Lack of defense. We've seen a lot of lower totals this postseason, but the total on this one is actually 223.5. But I'm kind of thinking, even though it's not really their calling cards, I'm kind of thinking we're going to see an under here. But I think you're going to see Brunson, clutch shots down the stretch, but I think we're actually going to be under 100 here. But I think Knicks, maybe a little pull away at the end, not really, but I don't know. 98, 94. Not like a buzzer beater situation, but I think getting the job done, key turnovers. Wouldn't be surprised if, Brunson, had, 25, 30 points, and 10 assists. But I think they'll get the job done. So that's what I would say there. And I think it's just important for this series, start out on the right foot, battle. Don't get behind. There's no reason against this Pacers team to be behind 20 points. They're not going to be bombing threes like the Celtics were. Obviously, no one in the league is. So that's kind of my thoughts there. What are you guys thinking for this game specifically tonight?
I kind of like the undercall, to be honest. I feel like, Pacers running into a stout Knicks defense will be, somewhat of a problem for them. But I don't know, man. I mean, it is really tough. I mean, to kind of go back to, the Pacers and the Knicks series last year, like, Brunson, the injury really killed them and everything. But I mean, I don't know. I would think, just looking at the Pacers from what I've seen this season, that they are they're a much better team than they were last year.
Yeah.
So I really don't think it's going to be an easy one here. I know the Knicks are favorited here, but this could be a buzzer beater situation, honestly. I guess the Knicks take it. I do like the undercall, Brian. I think it's going to be classic, Brunson, probably like 39, 41 points, something like that. And it's going to be at the end of the game. I'll say, I don't know. Let's go 108 to 105. Knicks win this game.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Zach?
I'm gonna have to agree there. I think it'll be close down the stretch, but I like Brunson making a clutch play at the end.
Yeah.
I do think it'll be under 100 too. I think tonight is going to be like a feeling out process for both teams, just to kind of see where they're both at. But like you said, there's no reason for the Knicks to go down 20 points. This is not Celtics.
Right.
You don't have to worry about that. So Hopefully they can start off with a bang tonight. It's not one of those games where they're, kind of playing from behind the entire second half. But I think it'll still be a close game. I think Brunson 25, probably somewhere around there. Clutch play at the end, clutch offensive play. Hopefully they're not having to stop them like they did in the last series. So yeah.
And being that this is a TNT production, win or lose, I mean, I think there's a pretty good chance we're going to see Reggie Miller trending on Twitter. A lot of complaining about him in the broadcast booth. That's going to happen. I'm sure everybody yesterday saw like the video of him. I don't know. Last year they were interviewing him something and just saying why he hates the Knicks and that the fans are front runners, this and that. But it seemed almost like, I don't know, just for somebody that's like been out of the game for so long, almost like immature in a way. Like it almost, watching that interview for a second, it just made it feel like, he's still playing. And then also the fact that like he's a broadcaster now, he's supposed to be like impartial.
Unbiased,
yeah. I don't know if you saw that interview. But.
I had the interview, but obviously I've heard all the slack about Reggie Miller here. And it should be interesting to see if he does remain impartial. Obviously, I mean, I guess give the guy a chance, but I mean, it is what it is, I guess, at this point.
No, it's just funny too because I remember like watching games back in the day too. Him and Kobe always had some type of beef, and I remember him just like commenting. You could just tell like his tone.
Yeah.
It was almost like when Al Michaels lost his shirt on the Bucks losing to the Rams in that wild card playoff game. You could just tell.
Oh,
that's too bad, by the what was it? The hair on their chin.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude,
that was so funny. So good one tonight. And we're really excited. But 8:00 on TNT there. And then really, I mean, what we expected, a tight first half here between OKC and Minnesota last night, but OKC pulling away 114-88 to go up 1-0 in this best of 7 series. Shy coming up big like he has all season, maybe a little inefficient, 10-27, but had 31 and 9. I was saying yesterday, Zach, I know everyone was like, oh, OKC, to the brink of elimination there with Denver, Minnesota, they've kind of like dominated their opponents. Maybe they give us some trouble, but I was saying, I think they win in 5. I think it was just a matchup thing with Denver. And I think they match up a lot better with Minnesota.
Yeah. I think I had my doubts about OKC, but coming off of the last series, winning that game 7 is so huge momentum wise. Like now it's completely flipped for me. I was high on the Timberwolves, but I think the Thunder are going to handle business. I think they'll be fine. I don't know about 5, but I would say maybe 6.
6,
but still, even then, I'm very high on the Thunder now. I think that they're due for the finals. They finally have that. Really, they have a really deep roster, so it really benefits them.
They almost remind me of, and who knows if their big 3 will be like the big 3 that they used to have, but like when the Thunder made the finals the first time against the Miami Heat, their players, they're coming into their own, they're all younger, big careers ahead of them. So be interesting to see, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. And I also see on here, Michael Bucca again being facetious. The come on Barnes not, and then Donna Lee chirping in saying, if you don't know by now, we're not telling you Michael B. So getting a kick out of that with the crying
Hilarious.
emoji. She's saying, Donna, Barnes assistant here. Ernie equals GOAT. Last time we see Barkley and the boys in TT. And the reason why I know Michael Buck, doesn't he strike you as someone that has like an impeccable memory?
Michael Buck did?
Yeah.
He does.
Because he has commented and tried to go live with JD before, with Tommy, who was in there. So I know he knows who they are. So cracking up to himself, I'm sure. And then, but it's the last series. Yeah, I guess technically that they're on TNT, but like the ESPN simulcast. I'm just confused with that. I don't know if they've said, but it sounds like TNT's still producing it. But since it's on ESPN, if it'll have like the ESPN graphics and stuff, and it seemed like NBA Countdown's still going to be there. You kind of heard about that, Zach, right? Like,
yeah, I saw last night that they had some sort of like simulcast going, even though they were on ESPN, they had like an alternate broadcast going, so I'm sure it'll be like the same thing.
But it's like basically you might as well just shut off NBA Countdown, the countdown or whatever, because it's like, come on, obviously everybody's gonna be watching. Because I don't personally like the TNT boys, but it seems like everybody else does.
Yeah, I think people are they're going to be sad to see him go. They're all going to kind of split up and go their own way, I think, unless they find themselves somewhere else.
No, but their ESPN is airing their show as their pregame show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yet they said they're going to still have the other people that are currently there. Like they made some like, I don't know what the agreement is exactly.
Really?
Yeah.
But different shows though. Like with the guys that are still there and
like,
then the
like
TNT boys. Separate shows or same?
Like, I don't know. Just those people, there'll still be a show, but it's like before their games, like their pregame main show is going to be Ernie and the boys. But TNT will produce it, but it's going to air on ESPN.
Oh, that's strange.
Yeah, that is kind of
I feel
strange.
like they would completely... I thought they were going to completely wipe out TNT. I thought that's what was going on because they're moving to NBC too. Like
right. Yeah, the no basketball rights, but just I don't know. I guess it's a way for TNT still to profit from them.
I guess.
But I've probably asked you this in the past. But I mean, would you like them? Like, do you think it's entertaining? Like Barkley and the boys? Or?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think they can be funny at times. But I feel like I've been hearing about this like change from TNT for so long. Like, oh, the NBA's going back to NBC and everyone's hyping up. It's like I kind of want to just see what that looks like.
With different people.
Yeah, we kind of shake it up a little bit, but I do enjoy them. Ernie's always been hilarious to me too, like his dynamic with them.
So. Yeah, Ernie's good.
Yeah. Because I guess they were saying, I know Dirk and Nash, I think, are going to be on NBC.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah,
like that.
Sick. Yeah, that'll be good. I just think like the Barkley and all them, like they've just been there so long, and I feel like it's just like I don't know. It's just like I feel like it's just the same jokes like over and over again. Charles doesn't know what's going on. Neither does Kenny. Shaq just sits there like this. Says, I'm the best. I'm the best. How many rings you have, Charles? And it's just like I mean, how many times are you gonna say the same thing? Like I don't know.
You're right.
Like what's new about that? And I think it almost, it almost reminds me of what you were saying about Rick and Dave before the show. Just like when you're in the car and then it's just shtick the whole time and you want to hear sports.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at with that. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see. And then Michael Bucket says he was out for dinner with his director in their family a week ago from today. And I had a great time. Come on, Barnes. I miss my director quite a bit. It's just so funny with the director. I'm surprised Ernie hasn't had any jokes about that yet. It just seems like it's up his alley, talking about you on the couch, same type of thing. I'm saying he makes those type of jokes.
No, yeah, he does.
Maybe because it's Buttka is like that contact buddy. And then he says, R.I.P. Barkley and the boys. I just graduated Barnes. I got a new iPhone 16.
Oh, nice, dude. That's awesome.
Said congratulations already, Michael, but congratulations again. And he immediately hit it off with her family, which does not surprise me in the slightest.
It does not, dude.
So last order of business here. Charles Schwab challenge at Colonial. It seems like there's been a couple different name changes on this over the years. Charles Schwab, though, is staying at the forefront. Looks like they've been the title sponsor since 2019. But you look at this course, it's been decently player friendly. It's not that long. It's only 7,209. So it's not about bombing the ball off the tee. It's about, shot position and pin placement, all of that. Zach Johnson has the course record here, 21 under par back in 2010. And if you look at the prize fund here, a tournament high this year, $9.5 million, with the winner getting 1.7. So for non-signature, pretty good purse there. And I mentioned about, somewhat player friendly. And I think it also depends on like the wind, the conditions, if there's any rain. Last year, though, Davis Riley ran away with it, minus 14. And you had two playoffs the previous 2 years, 8 and 9 under with Shank and Scheffler, who will be in the field this week. Jason Kokrak won at 14 under back in 21. He had another playoff in 20 with Daniel Berger. And then Kevin Na, right before he went over to Live, had a 4-stroke win over Tony Finau. So you've had kind of a different collection of players, winning at this event in the past. We mentioned the field, we mentioned Scotty in, but also who else is in? The only other guy in the top 10 is Hideki Matsuyama. And then you got world number 11, Maverick McNeely, world number 14, Tommy Fleetwood, world 17, Harris English, world 23, Bob McIntyre, 24, Brian Harmon, 25, Daniel Berger, 27, JJ Spawn, Aaron Rai, 28, Aske Bahatia, number 30 there. And then you also have Glover, who's 40, Kim, who's 45, Johnny Vegas, a disappointing finish to the PGA last week, 49. Jordan Spieth also playing another Texas tournament here at 51. Very disappointing miscut. So not a full field, but there are some golfers who have won some big tournaments over the years. So how are you capping this one?
How am I capping it, dude?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Scotty of the back-to-back, really for his appearances back-to-back-to-back, dude.
Yes.
Absolutely, dude. I mean,
I think okay on the call like a couple weeks ago. Back to back to back.
But in any case, dude, we've seen pure form Scotty. I feel like his last 2 tournaments, Texas, PGA, we know the deal. And obviously number 1 ranked golfer here, top ranked golfer in the tourney, dude. And if you look at his history here, 2 years ago, tied 3rd, last year, tied 2nd, this year, gonna be a first place finish. And it's pretty interesting. I mean, you look at some of the rounds. I mean, you see guys who like first round 2 over, second round like 2 under sort of deal. So there's some ebbs and flows to this course, it seems. But I say, give me Scotty, give me 9 under par for him to win this one. And then for my sleeper, dude, I'm going to go with a guy who just broke top 20 here at PGA last week, a guy who's still earning for his first PGA Tour win, Bo Hostler. Again, like I said, really purely because he was a little hot last week at the PGA. I think that was his first top 20 break since like the Wells Fargo, honestly. Not off to a great year. Like I said, the age 30 PGA Tour golfers, I mean, his 219th event. Hopefully it'll be his first win if Scotty doesn't do it. So Scotty and Bo.
All right. I'm going to go for my winner here, Tommy Fleetwood. He had a decent performance at the PGA, a little up and down on the weekend. Ended up finishing 41st just because of a 76 on Saturday. But you look at the body of work this year, 3 top 10s, and also had, every event really besides the PGA and the Valero, he's been in the top 22. So competing, hasn't been able to get over the hump, but you just feel like he's been on tour for so long. He's 34 years old. He's won in Europe, and I just feel like he's due to win on American soil. And I think this is a course that bodes well for him. He doesn't need to hit it a mile off the tee. He can rely on his overall consistent game. So I'm going to say he'll win at 14 under par. And then if I had to go with a sleeper, give me Siwoo Kim, another guy hit an ace last week at the PGA, up and down type of last couple of years, really. But it seems like this is a course he also could get hot. I'm going to say he'll win at 11 under if he were to. So we'll go with Tommy and Siwoo.
Like that. Like Siwoo.
Yeah. And then other than that, in terms of the TV coverage here, looks like tomorrow we'll get underway 8:00 on ESPN Plus, and then we got Golf Channel coverage at 4. And then over the weekend, you're gonna get it looks like I guess CBS taking over the coverage here.
Okay.
So should be interesting. And we move along, and before we know it, we're gonna be talking about Oakmont and the US Open.
Hell yeah, dude.
Did you watch any of the PGA last week, Zach?
I did not actually. There was a lot of different games on and whatnot.
Yeah.
I did not catch it, but I did see Scotty. I was happy for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I golf more, maybe I should get on there and watch some events. Take some notes.
Oh yeah, dude, definitely.
Yeah. And it's one of those things. I feel like, Tony, for you probably never thought like you would enjoy watching. And then as you did it a little more and more and more.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's sure, yes, the Charles Schwab, you're not glued 8 hours watching it. But like the major tournaments, like it's like you're like
dude.
Excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, totally, dude. It's great.
I thought last week was great. Looking forward to more majors this year, 2 more to go. And then I also see on here, I know this is more for Zach, but Notre Dame and Wisconsin to play a game at Lambeau Field next year.
Oh,
really?
Nice. That'll be cool. I love when they go to like different state, like the baseball stadiums and stuff. That's always cool, but that'll be
yeah.
Cool.
It's funny what a difference is like for really all the sports, like the neutral site games in the U.S. are great. It's just outside with the NFL, the obsession with Europe. I mean, it's just we wish they would put that to rest, but we know in hindsight. I mean,
they're gonna build on it more.
Oh, it's gonna get worse,
dude. Yeah.
Start you out in Sao Paulo week 1.
Yeah,
Good
dude.
luck with that,
dude. Danny was talking about flag football. Olympics, NFL players can play in it.
Yeah.
How crazy is that, dude?
Well, I was saying to JD yesterday, it's a good warm-up for when that's what the league is, because eventually that'll probably happen the way they are with player safety, even though no one's safe. You know what I mean? Like, I forgot who was making that point, but it's just like, they do all this stuff, player safety, but it's like the players going into like their career as NFL players, like know what the risks are. So I feel like to continue to do these crazy rule changes, I mean, eventually is going to really hurt the game, right?
Absolutely, dude. And I mean, obviously, I don't think it'll get as bad as we're just going to play flag football. But
I'm talking
it is like
30 years from now.
30 years from now?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I guess you want to make a bet? 30 years flag football? $1 million.
We'll put our AARP cards on it at that point, right?
Dude.
But yeah. It'll be interesting for sure. But
did you hear they had a owners meeting? Yeah, dude. What do you think about that?
Kelsey's getting involved. Well, I was actually talking about this with JD yesterday too. I just feel like you don't need to do that because it's like, okay, so the teams that are good at the tush push, you take away the tush push. It's the same exact formation other than they're not having the running back push them and the quarterback sneak. I mean, are these teams really going to be that much less effective on a regular quarterback sneak? I doubt that.
Yeah. And again, like what are the like
and isn't that what the ban would be, just being pushed, but it isn't like the old line still going to all crash at the legs of the defense. So
you can still
chop block,
QB sneak.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like, what's the point?
I just think it's dumb. It's a football play, and if you can't stop it, like find a way to stop it.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand it, honestly. But
and like I don't know, not for nothing, dude. Like, listen, I'm not any NFL coach or anything, but I mean, watching how teams defend the tush push, like a lot of teams have guys who try to reach over the top of the line, which is like the opposite of what I was taught to do and how to fucking tackle someone when I was a kid playing football. Like you get as low as possible and you clog shit up. And it's just like they're not doing that. And we've seen some teams like the Bucks have success against it.
Yeah. Because
they do. So it's like, I don't know. I think teams can strategize better around it. And also I just feel like it's almost impossible to try and govern this ban. I mean, like, again, like if you're going to ban the quarterback being pushed, then like why it's not going to stop me from giving it to the running back and then doing the same thing or like is that what you're going to do at this point? You can't push any players. You can't push players now.
Yeah. And just with these rule changes, I mean, sure, sometimes you occasionally get a good rule, like maybe MLB with the pitch clock. I think everybody likes that one. But it's just like our games are great. And it's like, can we just stop like obsessing over they need to be perfected, they need to be changed. Yeah. We all like the way they are. And even the NFL right now, there's too many things, with just like everything being so like offensive centric and you can't even put one finger on the quarterback. It's like, we can't accentuate this. It's just going to eventually, like I said, turn into flag football. So hopefully they get over the obsession for change. I don't know if they will. I also see Michael Thieville's in here been saying that, Barnes, exactly. It'll be flag football guaranteed. Also, Goats in the chat as well. So Michael jacked up.
Goats
that's
all
for
around.
sure. Yeah, absolutely. But here we are, and another great show today. Really appreciate everybody who tuned in and continues to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives in the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jay and Costa, and the merch at DowntimeTV.com. Want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games. Let's go Yankees and Mets, and we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.